All right, so round one is done. Right off the bat, I just gotta say one thing that I got right and one thing I got wrong. One thing I got wrong, the Vikings kept both Kirk Cousins and Dalvin Cook. I thought one of those two was gonna get traded, honestly. But one thing I was right on is Will Levis didn't get drafted. Kept telling people I knew his projection, but I did not believe any team truly wanted him. And of course, Twitter is now making a huge deal and feeling sorry for the guy. Guys, he's gonna get paid $1 million to play football regardless. I'm sorry the media hyped him up and had him sit there for 3 hours and not get picked. Anyway, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video and happy Friday. Today's video is just gonna be me continuing to talk about the draft. It's my reactions to the draft. I only plan to do this after day one because I'm not gonna be paying attention the next 2 days for the rest of the rounds, but there was some pretty crazy stuff last night, so we got some news. Anyway, a couple of quick plugs. One, head over to gfuel.com, use code WyattzWorld, save yourself a discount on any G Fuel products. And two, if you're 18 years or older, head over to Prize Picks, the daily fantasy app where code WyattzWorld will match up to $100 of your first deposit. Remember, guys, always play responsibly, and let's get into the video. Alright guys, so here is the rubric for today. At the top, we've got teams who I think did a great job. Beneath that, we've got teams who I think made sense. In the middle, we've got teams who surprised me. Beneath that, we've got teams who I'm sure didn't make a bad pick, but personally, I would have went a different direction. And then at the bottom, we've got WTF/ I don't get it. So kicking us off, we've got Atlanta, and they surprised the hell out of me when they took Bijan Robinson. Actually, I think someone just talked about that on Twitter with me. It was one of their takes. It's not a bad pick. I don't get it, because I really do think Algier can be that guy, but at the same time, I can kind of understand it, because if you got a playmaker like Bijan Robinson there, it's gonna be hard to pass him up. Like, honestly, I kind of want to put him in the category that I would have gone a different direction because I would have gone somewhere with defense, but it wasn't a surprise where I'm like, why did they do that? It was a surprise like, oh, they did that. They might cook. Moving on, we got Baltimore. Now, two things happened with them yesterday. Not only did they extend Lamar, making him, the highest paid player ever, but they drafted a wide receiver, Zay Flowers. And I know I'm not the biggest college guy, but personally, I think that was a great pick. Yeah, I know they have OBJ and Rashad Bateman, but guys, they're never healthy for the entire season. And even if they are, their wide receiver room would probably then just jump up to like Dallas caliber. Baltimore needed another receiver, and they needed a young one too. OBJ, he could still be good, but guys, he's like almost 30. He's not going to be there that long. They inked Lamar down, and they inked down a receiver who was going to play alongside him for, presumably the next 4 years. Moving on, we got the Panthers. I also think they did a great job. Again, not the most college efficient guy here, but from the little bit that I've watched and the tape that I watched and from what I've read in the combine and whatnot, Bryce Young just appeared to be the right choice. He appeared to be the most ready. Maybe he doesn't have the highest ceiling for some people, or maybe he's, too short, which I understand people not liking. But I think Carolina made the correct pick. Now moving on, we got Chicago, and this one I was outside taking my dog out for, and I think they traded around a little bit. Either way, they ended up taking an offensive tackle. Darnell Wright, I believe he went to Tennessee. To me, it makes sense. I would say great job because, they really did need an O-lineman. I'm just not certain if he was the best O-lineman available. And now we're on to Tennessee. They drafted another offensive tackle, Peter Skoronski, and he's one that I actually heard could have been the best in the league. However, I'm actually going to put them in the category of I'm sure it's not bad, but I would have done something different. If I was Tennessee, I would have grabbed a wide receiver. They had a shot at any wide receiver they wanted, and they desperately need one. No, I don't hate Treylon Burks, but he's not enough. But like I said, I'm not ripping on their pick. It's just a personal difference. And that brings us to the Bengals. They made sense, I guess. I didn't know what to expect with them, really. I knew they were going to take an offensive weapon. They might have taken an O-lineman. I would have thought the same thing for that. It would have made sense. But this is going to be really good because now you're going to have Trey Hendrickson on one end, Miles Murphy on the other, and if he turns out to be a monster, that line is going to be ridiculous. Now we got Cleveland, and their pick went to Houston for Deshaun Watson. It was part of that package. I'm sure it's not bad. I probably just would have gone in a different direction, but that's just me. Now we got Dallas. They got a DT from Michigan. Again, to me, this one made sense, though. They have levels of young talent to their defense that are going to be there for years to come. You got Trayvon in the secondary, Micah as the linebacker, or wherever you need him to be. And now Mozzie Smith is going to be on the D-line. And imagine if he turns out to be a superstar. He's in Dallas, so he probably will. Their defense is going to be set. Now we got Denver. They lost their pick in the Russell Wilson trade. I'll bite the bullet. I still think the trade made sense because I still think it's going to work out in their favor. I really do. Now we're on to to Buffalo. Surprised the life out of me. They drafted a tight end, Dalton Kincaid. I really didn't know who they were going to take either. I actually thought maybe a linebacker. This guy ends up being the Travis Kelce they think he can be. This offense is going to be crazy. Now we've got Detroit. What the fuck? You guys have 2 great running backs, and you also have 2 first-round picks. So what do you do with the first of those first-round picks? You draft another running back. Does that mean you're giving up on DeAndre Swift? Because if you are, why? Now, they used their other pick on a linebacker. Okay, whatever. That might help their defense. Probably will. But their first pick was awful. Detroit, you know I always just want what's best for you. And right now, what's best for you is if I climb through this camera and stomp a hole in your ass. Now we got Green Bay. They took an edge rusher, Lucas Van Ness. Guys, I'm not doing this just to rib you. You know I'm pretty honest about your team always. I did not get that pick. You already have Kenny Clark and Devontae Wyatt up there. Like, you guys could have had any shot at a receiver you wanted, or a tight end that you wanted, someone to help benefit Jordan Love's success this year. And now we are on to Houston. Great job. They were crazy. They drafted 2nd overall and traded right back up to draft at 3 overall. First pick they got was the quarterback, CJ Stroud. I think he was the 2nd best option available, and he is going to thrive there. And right after that, they came back and grabbed Will Anderson, the edge rusher from Alabama. DeMeco Ryan, man, he is all in. He knew what he wanted, and he got it. I have respect. And now moving on, we got Indy. They took Anthony Richardson, and honestly, I might have had that in my mock draft, but deep down, it still surprised me that they had the balls to do it. It made sense. But Anthony Richardson, he's going to sink or he's going to swim. This team could have worked on other areas. However, they are going to try and fill the gap that has been left open since Andrew Luck left. They obviously saw Richardson. They saw the tape. They know he can fill that gap, but will he? Now we got the Jags. I'm pretty sure they traded with Buffalo, right? Buffalo swapped with them so they could draft the tight end. Regardless, they got Anton Harrison, an offensive tackle. I think it made sense. Not that their O-line was dreadful, but it could have been better, and it is. Now we got the Chiefs. They took Felix Uzama, edge rusher. I'm sure it's not bad, but I would have done something different. I would have taken Josh Downs or Jalen Hyatt. I know they can get by with any group of receivers, but wouldn't you want one of those guys? Like, I mean, I don't want to speak for a fan base that I rival with, but like, I mean, come on. Now we got the Chargers. They got Quentin Johnston. Great pick. One of the best receivers available in the draft, and he is going to take the place of Keenan as he starts to fizzle out. Keenan Allen is old. He's going to be hurt a lot more. Mike Williams is already hurt a lot. And not to mention, Josh Palmer's not terrible, but Quentin Johnston has potential to be the best receiver in the league for all we know right now. That'll bring us to the Rams. Matt Stafford trade. Look, they won a ring, so it made sense. I would say great job if Stafford was still lighting it up, but the team sucks now. Going forward, we got the Raiders. They got Tyree Wilson, edge rusher from Texas Tech. Not gonna kid you, I think that was a great pick. Him and Max Crosby could be a force. They're showing loyalty to Jimmy G. They're showing faith in their offense because, I mean, it is capable. Therefore, the defense got the one up. Now we got Miami, who lost their pick for tampering, and I don't get that one. Why would you guys still try to negotiate with Tom Brady when he's under contract? And why would you try and negotiate with Sean Payton when he's under contract? You know you can't do that shit. You got caught. Now we're on to the Vikings. Surprised me. Not a bad surprise, but a surprise. They really could have taken a lot of help on their defense, especially in their secondary, because I believe there was a good number of corners still there. But they grabbed Jordan Addison, the wide receiver from USC. Kirk Cousins is now my new favorite to be the passing leader this year. Jordan Addison 2 years ago had 1,500 yards and 17 touchdowns in college. That transitions to our team with Justin Jefferson. Now we're at the Patriots, and they drafted cornerback Christian Gonzalez out of Oregon. Now I know this guy is supposed to be elite. It makes sense why the Patriots would grab him. I don't think it was their biggest need. That's why I'm not going to say great job. But from everything I've heard and read, Christian Gonzalez and Bill Belichick are probably going to go together like paper and glue. On to the Saints. They got Brian Breesy, I think, DT. I would have grabbed that or a linebacker. I think that was a great pick. My knowledge might not be there. He might not be the best DT available at the time, but like I said, that's what I would have done if I was New Orleans. Now we're on to the Giants. They got Deontay Banks, cornerback out of Maryland. I'm sure it's not bad. I would have got a receiver there. I would have taken Josh Downs specifically, but I'm not hating on this selection one bit. Now we're on to the Jets. Made sense. Will McDonald, edge rusher. Look, they got Rodgers. They got what they needed for their offense. They have faith in their offense. Obviously, their line, assuming it's healthy, is going to be good offensively. This is just another key to Saleh's defense. All right, let's talk about the Eagles. Great job. Fantastic job. Philadelphia Bulldogs drafted Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith. The team is probably going to go back to the Super Bowl. That'll bring us to the Steelers. They got Broderick Jones, offensive tackle. That was a great job for them. He's from Georgia as well. I mean, they just needed that. That's what they needed more than anything in the world. Now we got Seattle. Oh, bittersweet with them. They surprised me. We'll just say that. I didn't like their first pick because they could have gotten Jalen Carter and they got another cornerback. Devin Witherspoon, you know, maybe they're trying to rebuild the Legion of Boom, but their secondary is, you know, fine. However, their second pick, they got Jackson Smith Najiba. I don't know how to say his last name. I'm sorry. But their receiving room is going to be, I mean, Bengals level now. Now we're on to the 49ers, and this specific first round trade is actually from the Trey Lance trade. I have absolutely no comment. I can't say it made sense. I can't say it surprised me. We don't know. The guy still hasn't played. I guess we'll set them here. Now we got Tampa. They grabbed Kalijah Cansey, I believe his name was, as a DT. But it's a great job for two reasons. One, great job on passing on Will Levis. And two, you now got Vita Vea, a partner to beat the hell out of offensive lines with. Now we got Washington. They took Emmanuel Forbes, cornerback. I guess it made sense. I'm not sure it was the best option that they could have done, but their secondary last year was actually pretty decent, all things considered. So this is just going to ensure that they stay on that path. Actually, I think you guys have one of the most underrated safeties in the league, Derek Forrest. Anyway, ending, we got the Cardinals. I'm sure it wasn't terrible, but I would have gone in a different direction. It seemed weird to me that they traded around a couple picks just to draft an OT. Obviously, it benefited them in some way, but I personally probably would have drafted somebody to fill the gap on the defensive line, considering Zach Allen and JJ are gone. Maybe they've done that without me knowing, but protecting Kyler isn't a bad idea. That's what I'm saying. I would have just done something different. Alright guys, and that is it for me reacting to round 1 of the NFL draft. Let me know what you guys think. As you can imagine though, that is where I'm going to end this video, so if you want to show any support, you know what to do, and you know I appreciate it. But with everything I said, I'm going to hop off and get this edited so you guys can watch it on time. Enjoy your weekend, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video.